Yeah, welcome back to this final session of the webinar on water pricing in India. The today's final session will be on the case study of Maharashtra Water Resources Regulatory Authority by Dr. S.A. Kulkarni, former Secretary, Maharashtra Water Resources Regulatory Authority. I will just read out a brief profile of Dr. Suresh Kulkarni, and then I will hand over it to him. Professor Suresh A. Kulkarni is an irrigation specialist and has over 40 years of experience in water resources sector. His major areas of interest are pressurized irrigation, modernization of irrigation systems, water saving initiatives, flow measurement, water governance and regulation, land drainage, capacity building and training, benchmarking, water pricing, participatory irrigation management, groundwater management, wastewater irrigation, among others. He is the consultant to the World Bank aided projects. He has served as I said, he has served as the Secretary of Maharashtra Water Resources Regulatory Authority, MWRRA. And he also served as Executive Secretary of International Commission on Irrigation and Drainage, ICID, New Delhi, and as Associate Professor at Water and Land Management Institute, Valmi, Maharashtra. He hosts a PhD in irrigation engineering from Hungarian Academy of Sciences, Budapest, and was trained in irrigation water management in USA. He is a fellow of Indian Society of Agricultural Engineers and lifetime a member of many water-related professional associations. He has lectured in around 15 countries and written over 70 technical papers and contributed to many technical reports and books related to agricultural water management. He writes for popular magazines and media newspapers on current water issues. So I welcome Dr. S.A. Kulkarni sir to deliver today's session on water pricing in Maharashtra, a case study of MWRRA. We also have, sir, with us D.S. Chaska, sir, Chief Engineer and Head of National Water Academy, joining with us. So I am handing it over to you. You may start, please. सर आप म्यूटेड है अनम्यूट करिए
Yeah.
Yeah. Now you can again minimize. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Go into full screen mode.
Yeah, it's fine now. It's okay.
Yes, sir. It is fine. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much, Chaska Sahib, for this great opportunity.
Thank you. Rather, it is our privilege and honor to have you in this webinar. We thank you for accepting our invitation to
and
share your expertise.
especially because this subject is, although very crucial, it has been neglected or ignored for so many years. And I'm really happy that you took up this subject, and it will take up further, I'm sure. So with the given time, I think we already passed 10 minutes. We'll quickly go through what really Water Regulatory Authority is doing in the water pricing. Of course, I will not describe much. There are many water is required for many things, especially for agriculture, irrigation in our country, for industrial uses, and thermal power. Actually, for a lot of water goes for thermal power, and of course for drinking, domestic, animal husbandry, industrial raw material processing, hydropower, aquaculture, forest and wildlife, religious purposes. Increasingly, it is used nowadays in India for religious purposes, recreation and sports, environment purposes. So water is required everywhere in all walks of life. And if you see the situation of India, the Water Resource Institute, World Resource Institute, based at Washington, USA, they say that India is the 24th extremely water-stressed country in the world because our demands are increasing and we are not really managing any demand management measures. So they say that if the demand increases 80% of the available water, then you are really extremely water-stressed country. So that is a major matter of concern for all of us. And agriculture, because India is already is the biggest user of water in all over the world, than in China and US, etc., etc. So coming direct to the Maharashtra, just to understand what the Maharashtra is about the water sector. Irrigation is about 67% in Maharashtra. This is an average of last 10 years. Okay, and drinking is about 18%, and this is 2% is about industrial use, and 4.6 4.5 is evaporation. A lot of evaporation takes place because we have a lot of major, medium, and minor irrigation projects. So this is especially, of course, this is from the state sector. We are talking about all about surface irrigation, surface water, and that too state sector projects. There are also local sector projects. So in Maharashtra, if you see, there are 5 major basins, and Godavari basin occupies almost 50% of the Maharashtra. And for Maharashtra, ultimate water, how much water we have, which can be really used, is about 88 billion cubic meter, comprising 67 surface water and 21 groundwater. But present use, if you see, it is almost 41, almost it is 50%, less than 50% of water we are used. So it is really matter of concern for Maharashtra also, that we need to really very cautious about the water use. And we have a large number of dams, because Maharashtra has highest number of dams. It is famous for that. So 406 major, medium, and small. There are many more. So this is in short about Maharashtra. And there is a special sector allocation in Maharashtra, which has taken a decision by the high level committee, according to which all our state sector projects, there the sector allocation is made like this: 75% is for agriculture, 15% for domestic purposes, and 10% for industrial uses. This is what is we call a sectoral allocation. And 2016, this has been as a government regulation. Now there was, for MWRRA, there was they had the power to have a sectoral allocation, but unfortunately, in 2011, this power has been taken back, to government. And now government decides, really, there is a high level committee which decides how much water should be given from each reservoir. And now situation Maharashtra is that around many metropolitan cities or municipal corporations, those reservoirs, almost 50% reservation is there for non-irrigation uses. There are many such reservoirs, even around Pune, Mumbai, Thane, Solapur, Aurangabad, Nashik, etc., Nagpur. So this is sector allocation is there, and but within this limit, the Irrigation Development Corporation can approve the allocation. Now this way also Dr. Sarkar has dealt in length, so I will not go in detail. So slowly, at least in 2005, only one regulatory authority was there, and there are now 12. Some are in the process, and some are already in the form. But Maharashtra regulatory authority is really fully functioning, and it has done an excellent job. Really, it is a quasi-judicial and status, and done even a lot of cases, the dispute resolution. So its mandate is to regulate water resources within the state, facilitate and ensure judicious, equitable, and sustainable management, allocation, and utilization of water resources. Its mandate is very good, actually. Equitable, this is a key word. Equitable resources, that samanyai, what we call it. This is a key word, actually. And it focuses basically for, you can see, these 3: domestic, agriculture, and industry. The foremost function is to determine the bulk water tariff for agriculture, industry, and domestic sectors. Second is to decide equitable distribution of water resources within the sub-basin, actually. To determine the criteria for distribution of entitlement. There was a discussion also about entitlements. So this also is there: entitlement in the irrigation sector, entitlement in the domestic sector also. That job, that is the function of the authority. And important function is water related dispute. There are several disputes, actually. Every month authority gets some or other application of disputes from water users associations, or from the upstream, downstream, stakeholders. And the authority has been doing excellent job in resolving these disputes during the past years. And another is very important is clearance of water resources project. Any new water resource project has to be passed through the authority, and the authority will, there is a certain criteria given, and through that only unless and until authority clears the project, it cannot be taken for further for construction purposes. And fortunately, this authority also has been designated as State Groundwater Authority. Unfortunately, this has not been active, so because of some or other reason. Because in 2014 itself, the authority was been given this task of looking after this Groundwater Act of 2009. But there were some issues, and I heard that I learned that whole act is being rewritten actually, or revamped actually, that one. So very soon I'm sure that will also become active. In short, this is the organogram of chairman, and there are 4 members: member engineering, member economics, member law, member groundwater management. We have 3 members at present. Groundwater member is yet to be appointed actually. Then we have a secretary, and below that the staff which takes care of the day-to-day operation. And as regard the water pricing is concerned, Section 11D of the Act and 11U of the Act that operates, it empowers authority to establish water tariff system after ascertaining views of the beneficiary, based on principle that water charges reflect full recovery of OM and operation and maintenance cost charges. So this is what is the keyword, that's full recovery of operation and maintenance charges. And this tariff has to be reviewed periodically, at least after every 3 years. That's what the really Act says. Now, in order to operate this section, it takes into the authority takes into support this Maharashtra Irrigation Act. It's very strong act, 1976 Act, Maharashtra Water Regulatory Act itself, Maharashtra Management of Irrigation System by Farmers Act in 2005, Maharashtra State Water Policy. Presently it is a 2001-9 policies there, and irrigation status report, which are published every year on a regular basis by the Water Resources Department. It contains a lot of information, data about the water resources in the state under state sector. So this is this one. And if you see in general, of course, this about the agricultural or irrigation cost, what does it contains? Basically, it contains the full supply cost, then cost of economics, cost of environment, which is called as agriculture full cost. Now, if you split this, what is full supply cost? It has 2 components. One is capital cost of that particular project, and operation and maintenance cost, what is called as O&M cost. Then another is from the economics point of view, opportunity cost also. That means if the same water is used for some other purposes, that's what is the opportunity cost of any water resource project. Then agriculture pollution cost. This is also becoming increasing important, because pollution load is increasing. So that cost is also has to be recovered, from the users. So that's what the concept of the agriculture or water cost is there. Now, as regards Maharashtra, or for that matter for the India is concerned, we are only trying to charge operation and meet out the operation and maintenance cost of the project. We are not still talking about the capital cost or opportunity cost or pollution cost. We are just at the beginning of this. Whereas the developed economies, for example, in OECD countries, Australia or in Mexico or Turkey, etc. So those countries are European countries. They are talking about all these components, but we are at the really the very basic stage of water pricing. Now, of course, there are many steps. I will not take much time in this, but the MWRRA has prepared a very detailed, procedure initial few years, because the authority started functioning in 2006, although it was established in 2005. And during the initial period, everything was new. There was nothing, there was no precedence how to decide the bulk water tariff, what is bulk water tariff means itself. So there are a lot of consultations, and the MWRRA engaged top-notch NGOs, top-notch experts. Even the World Bank people also help. And for first initial 3-4 periods, they are consumed in preparing the approach paper, how to approach this. Okay, and finally, in first, actually, it come out in 2011, after 5 years actually. Now, these are the steps need to be followed. It is a very elaborate process. First is preparation of a draft approach paper on criteria for bulk water tariff. Okay, so in short, we call it CBWT. Then again, because it gives a lot of importance to stakeholder consultations. So that has to be decided, approach paper to be discussed with the stakeholder. Response, what comes from the stakeholder, then MWRRA will give his position. Okay, then it comes the preparation of the draft criteria. Then it comes the draft criteria has to be prepared. Actually, there are two phases in the, you can see here this phase 1 and phase 2. In phase 1, you have to prepare the criteria. What should be the criteria for bulk water tariff? And in the phase 2, actual water tariff, what should be for agriculture, domestic, per cubic meter, for different purposes, for lift irrigation. So in first phase, only we decide the criteria. How much cost allocation should be given to agriculture, domestic, and this one. So, so we should be clear for us. Then public hearing again. Once you prepare the criteria, then release of criteria. Criteria released means it will be widely publicized. Actually, we kept in all tahsil places, all district places, tahsil places. It was given a wide publicity. So, and we asked even in newspaper also. So asking the people to provide their comments. Then in the second phase, once we get this preparation of a tariff proposal, this proposal has to be prepared by the Water Resource Department first, because they have all the data, how much cost they have incurred in operation and management. So a complete operation and management cost, they have to give detail MWRRA prepares a draft tariff order. Then again, it is stakeholder consultation is given, and stakeholder consultation involves both. Actually, first there is also expert consultation also. So the top experts who are experienced from Maharashtra or from outside, there are some NGOs, even by this MWRRA. First was in 2010. So the control period is usually for 3 years. Okay, in 2010 to 2013, and the criteria at that time was decided by 21% for agriculture, 23% for domestic purposes, 56% cost allocation for industry. And further, then the second 2013-2016, and because of certain reason, administrative problems were there, so this could not be effected, because we could not, the MWRRA could not get a proposal from the Water Resource Department. So this 2010, the first edition of the tariff proposal continued until 2018. Okay, and the third then started in 2018 to 2020, in which the criteria has changed after strong consultation with stakeholders. They said that no, 21 is more, and let us make it 19%. So it has been reduced. and for the domestic also 22, and it has increased by 59 to industry. Okay. And now this you have to start at least 2 years in advance. If you want to prepare a tariff proposal, suppose 2018, it has to start in 2016, actually 2017 at least. You have to start at least 1 year in advance, so that we can catch up that period. Then the fourth, this is the fourth one actually presently for the 2020 to 2022. And now the authority has decided that instead of going for stakeholder consultation, etc., in future, they have given the 10% increase every year. So for 23, 24, 10% increase, and 24, 25, total 20% increase. It's like this, the authority has taken a decision instead of taking a consultation, because criteria is more or less fixed. So only thing that increasing the price, that is decided now at 10%. Now the cost allocation matrix, how it is done, how the cost mean, how criteria is decided. This is very important. This is a crucial step. There are 4 parameters on which the cost allocation is based: affordability, quality and accessibility, timeliness, impact on water quality. Now in this for the second time, this impact on water quality criteria, a parameter was introduced in this. Earlier in the first tariff, first edition of the tariff, this impact on water quality was not there, but later on this was introduced. So what does it mean? Affordability means for agriculture, how far these farmers can afford it, this tariff. So major weightage was given to affordability, 60%. Then quality, 10%. Timeliness, 10%. Impact on water quality, because pollution is important, so 20%. Now with this, if you can see here, for agriculture, then for agriculture, affordability for agriculture, this has been again allocated 100. You can see the marks have been allocated among agriculture, domestic water, and industry. So 15, 7. What this means? 70 means what? Industry can afford much more than agriculture and domestic. So industry has given 70, weightage is more. Weightage, this is a allocation of weightages. Okay. And the accessibility is more for the irrigation for people. Okay. Which is much less for the domestic purposes, domestic users. And it is much better, little bit, because the industry people directly pump from the reservoir. So accessibility is little better than domestic people. So like this, timeliness very important for industry. Then for domestic, and for agriculture, it may timeliness may not matter that much. So the low weightage has been given. And as regard the quality, you can see 45 is given for domestic and industry, because these are the two main polluters. These sectors are main polluters compared to agriculture. So likewise, this weightage is decided. Now this weightage is decided by a lot of permutation, combination, lot of discussion, and these are all subjective. And there is no such formula that why this and why that. This is all because of some rationale, has been decided. And ultimately, how this cost allocation has worked out, you can see for agriculture, affordability is 60%. Okay, 60% is here.
Kulkarni sir, just sorry for interrupting. There is some obstruction, like there is a bar in the near the. You can hide it. You can hide it. You can press on
sorry,
it.
sorry.
Yeah. Now it is okay.
Sorry. Just here we can see 15. You can see 15 from here and 60. So 15 is multiplied by 6. Drinking also 15 by 6. Industry 70. You can see this 70 is taken from here. So likewise, these numbers are worked out. Okay. So you can see for agriculture, affordability number 9, 6, 2, and 2. If you add all this, it is 19. So drinking water, if you add 9, 1.5, 3, 9, it is 22. So likewise for industry, it is 59. What is these numbers? These numbers indicate that out of 100 O&M cost, 90 rupees has to be recovered from agriculture, that is from irrigation, and 22 rupees to be recovered from domestic sector, and 59 from industrial users. So this is how actually this is worked out. This is what is called as criteria. These are the criteria. 19, 22 and 59 is the criteria, and the tariff will follow. Now you can see here there are a lot of variables. Now we can talk. What are the variables? Methods of water supply: by canal, that gravity by irrigation or lift irrigation. In lift irrigation, there are government lift irrigation schemes. There are cooperative or private lift irrigation schemes. Then there are seasons: Kharif season, Rabi season, hot weather season. Then the source of water supply. There is assured water supply, reservoir of major projects, reservoir of medium projects, canal storage tanks. So these are the assured, because there is water is available all the year round actually in the reservoirs of the medium and major projects. So it is called as assured water supply. Then regulated water supply with transmission water losses. So water is released from dams, and there is some downstream, there is some bandara. So this is called a regulated water supply. Then partly regulated water supply. Sometimes water is released as and when required. So some in some part of Maharashtra you can find this observation, this arrangement also. Then there are some reservoirs, bandaras are constructed by private persons, like industry, for example, MIDC has constructed, or some private person has constructed some bandara below in the river. So water has to be released in that reservoirs. So this is also, but of course, it is for that bandara should store water at least for 8 months period. Then only it is accepted for this. Then water users. What are those water users? Registered Water Users Association, individual farmers, and decentralized storages. That means sometime, for example, there is a big irrigation scheme by Tembu, lift irrigation scheme covering 80,000 hectares of area. So water is stored in many storages, at least for 4 to 5 big storages. So these are the decentralized storages are there, and from where farmers lift water. So these are under water user. There are 3 types of categories are there. Then pricing method. It is a volumetric pricing, area based. Within the area based, it is a cash crop like sugarcane or a horticulture crop or cotton, banana, etc., or food grain like wheat, gram, etc., jowar, etc. So basically, Act says that water has to be given by volumetrically, but still we are not yet technically prepared to supply water to all water users associations on volumetric basis actually. So till that time we have some sound volumetric arrangement. So authority thought that let us continue with the area based also. So both this area based and volumetric system are both the are there. Then irrigation method. If you are using just gravity method, surface method, or drip or sprinkler method, there are concession, there are some incentives are there. So such a number of variables are there. So keeping in view such variables, it is a very complex task. Now, after preparation of the criteria, next step is to prepare bulk tariff order. That means exactly giving how much cost of 1 cubic meter of water for different categories, different combinations, which you have seen. For each, we have to work out. Now, before going that, what does it mean by O&M cost? As regards Maharashtra irrigation management establishment cost, then the administration cost involved, administrative people, then the operation of the system cost, then the maintenance cost. Actually, both preventive maintenance and operative maintenance, this is considered, but major maintenance is not taken into consideration. So all the cost involved together is O&M cost, which is and this cost is to be recovered. This at least it is expected to recover through the water pricing, and usually this cost it is in, for example, last tariff it was 1920 crores was the cost which was projected by the, which was given by the Watershed Department of Maharashtra. Then what are the steps in preparing the bulk tariff order? We have to, the authority has to finalize the admitted recoverable OM cost. Sometime Watershed departments say that, okay, we have spent something 2,000 or 2,400 crore, but authority usually not generally agree with that kind of cost. Then they, with a rational, with a reasonability, they say that yes, we will admit, or this is what we the cost, O&M cost. So ASA, the authority decides the reasonable cost, actually O&M cost. That is what is called as admitted by the authority, which we can be recovered as a O&M cost. Then forecast categories wise water use from available data. Since the tariff order is for 3 next years, it is the control period is for 3 years. So you need to really forecast for the, for example, 22-23, what will be the water required by WH, how much water they will take, individual farmer how much they will take, domestic water, gram panchayat, corporations. So we need to forecast for each and every parameter for each year, what will be the cost. So the water requirement, and using the available data, because we have some the watershed department, as I said, they have very excellent the irrigation status report, and that gives a comprehensive information. Also water audit report is there, and these historical trends. So using this all this information, you can forecast this. Then apportion admitted and O&M cost across user as per the criteria. Now for a criteria, we have decided 19%, 21% and 59%. So among three major users, that is agriculture, domestic and industrial, you have to apportionate it. Apportion that 19% for agriculture, the 21% for domestic, and 59% for industry. Once this is the third step. Then determine incentives and disincentives for various user categories that we are talking about, the drip, sprinkler, or somebody is using less water, then give incentive to that particular entity, and determine the tariff for each user category. So this completes the exercise. This is under phase 2 actually. First one, preparation of criteria, and phase 2, determining preparation of a draft detailed bulk tariff order. Okay. This, and you can see this in the, we have been taking all this is very, very useful. Statewide, regional, we have this revenue division, 6 revenue divisions in Maharashtra. So authority has been very keen with all stakeholders, farmers, industrialists, then the domestic, but mostly the farmers are very enthusiastic. They take part in such stakeholders consultations invariably. Then if you see this here, recoverable water charges for the current is this one, tariff order. We just an example I am showing here. Estimated water use, the total estimated O&M cost which was accepted by the authority is 1,920 crore. This was the O&M cost which has been accepted, which has been admitted by the authority. Now for the agriculture, estimated water use was 24 billion cubic meter, domestic 6.7 billion cubic meter, and 847 million cubic meter for industrial. So together 32.356 billion cubic meter water, estimated water use for the given year. And now this share for this is now 920 has to be shared by these three sectors. These are three major sectors, 19, 22 and 59. So if you make 19 of 1920, it becomes 365, 422, 1133. That means estimated recovery, the agriculture, the irrigation sector has to recover 365 crores, domestic 422 crores, And industry, of course, is the major, 1133 crores. So altogether, 920 crores has to be recovered through this tariff. And then you find out the average rate. This is what is the use, estimated water use, and you have the estimated recovery. So you find out the per cubic meter. So 0.15 rupees, that means 15 paisa per cubic meter is the basic cost, or you can say average cost. This is called as average cost of the for agriculture. Basic cost or average cost for agriculture. For domestic, it is 62 paisa per cubic meter. And for industry, it is 13.37 rupees per cubic meter. These are the basic cost which you have calculated with this exercise which you have done so far. Now, if you see the picture of Maharashtra, sectoral bulk water tariff assessment, you can see. So total assessment was 1920, okay, crores. And total water use was 32.36 billion cubic meter. So how much each sector was using? Irrigation was using 67.5%. Water used by irrigation sector, 67.5%. But it shares only 19%. Domestic sector was using 21% of total water use. It is almost same, 22%. But industry uses only 2.5% of water, but it pays 59% of the total cost, 59%. This is what is the cross subsidy actually irrigation is getting. So I'm not really sure when we call OM and cost has to be totally recovered. Is it to be recovered from irrigation or from the all sectors? So that's because internationally it is supposed to come the irrigation only. But since our most of the projects are multi functional projects, we have the advantage of having cross subsidy like this. Now, what are the just got some figures? How many users are there? What are user entities in Maharashtra? Urban entities, the bulk water user entities, corporations, Nagar Parishads, they are 290, which are taking water from the state sector. Then rural gram panchayats, basically 2,2868. Industries, including MID, because MIDC in many places is a major client. So, but in all there are 524 water users, industrial water users entity. Individual farmers, there are more than 20 lakh farmers as far as the record is there. And water users association, there are 2,206 water users association are taking water presently. So this is the broad numbers. Now this needs maybe correction, but these are just to get an idea the scale. Now the just to I showed you the bulk order is already available on the website of the water MWRRA. Those interested, they can get this. Just to get an idea how much is the really Kharif, Rabi, and we got the 15 basic. You remember that we got the 15 paisa per cubic meter, that is 1000 liter. Now using that we need to really play now how much should be kept for Rabi. Now the Rabi it is kept 11 paisa. So and hot weather it has to be definitely more, so it is 16.5, and it is 50% almost for the Kharif, so 5.5. And if for water users association, if they are taking volumetrically, they have to pay 11 paisa per cubic meter of water. For individual beneficiary, just to disincentive, it is 14 paisa. Okay, this is what is the cost allocation here. And the now equation for the area basis also, area, Kharif, Rabi and hot weather, you can see here. For food grain crops, 600, 1200 and 1800. Naturally, again, it is just double of this, 1.5 times of this, like this, clearly. Sugar cane, banana, these are the cash crops. So it is much more here, you can see. So totally it works out of a sugar cane, of course, for if you because it is a perennial crop, 12-month crop, 11-month to 12-month crop, a 30-month crop. It is about 13,000 rupees per hectare. So cotton also, if you grow it, it is a two seasonal crop. Maybe from Kharif to Rabi. Sometime it is Rabi to hot weather also. Sometime it is sown. So horticulture, like the fruit gardens, banana, etc. Sorry, banana is already here. This is especially for vegetables. Okay, this is the clause. Now, water charges for cash crops here. That means there is also provision that those wells which are within the distance of 35 meter, they are also charged. If some farmer is growing cash crops within 35 meter from the canal using the irrigation water, the groundwater, they will be paid 50% of the basic rate, and this is already there in the 1976 Act. So the authority uses many clauses from the 1976 Act also. Then you have for the bulk water tariff for private irrigation schemes, Kharif, Rabi, and Hard. There are number of private irrigation schemes in Maharashtra, maybe in thousands actually. So depending upon the type of supply, okay, reservoir major project, regulated water supply, for each one there is a the prices are fixed. So all this is a big exercise by trial and error. You have to fit that. It should not exceed that recoverable cost. Similarly, now domestic water use. The water supply is again it remains same. Four sources: assured water supply and partly assured supply. Then you have to have Gram Panchayat, then Nagar Palika, Nagar Panchayat. Then in municipal corporations, now during the last few years, usually it used to be only one. But what happened? Many people in municipal municipal corporation area, they used to take water as a domestic, and then they used to use, for example, for hotels or for hospitals, etc. Now these are being treated as a commercial entities. All these cinema houses or hotels, So the rates are different for this. Although it is a drinking water, for domestic purposes, this 0.55, and it is commercial 2.75. So this is more detailing, because based upon the previous experience, authority is really refining this price structure. This is for industry. You can see for industry is a process. Now there are two types of industry: process industry, and where it is used as a raw material. Process means what? Process means for cooling, washing. This is used actually. So this is a process industry. And raw material means like water bottle. This what we call is mineral water. What we call, or all cold drinks or beverages, ethanol. All these which are used as a basically raw material. Water is a raw material for such product. The rates are 165 per cubic meter. Okay, and within the industry also, similar to domestic, there is a provision for, because there are industrial houses, they also use some part of the water for drinking purposes and domestic uses. So they have to really separate out how much water they need for domestic purposes, drinking purposes, and how much for their industry, or either for either raw material or for process. So like this, you can see here, the highest rate is 333. 330 rupees with regulated water supply arrangement for this one. So this type of arrangement, and as far as I know, there is no complaint from the industry for this rate. I think they find still this rate size reasonable one. For irrigators, there are some incentives like water meter. We have installed water meter, and they are taking water meter. 25% concession is given to them. Or then water supplied for more than 2 rotation. Now they're very interesting. In the last tariff, you can see, if the water is supplied for more than 2 rotation, then only full rate for that season will be charged. Because there were complaints by the farmers, because sometimes they get only 1 rotation. Then they say that why they should pay full charge. So now the authority said that if you get more than 2, then only you pay. Otherwise, for water supply for 2 or less rotations, water rates will be 1/4 of applicable rate per rotation will be charged. Okay, if there are 2 rotations, that means only half of the rate will be charged, like that. So this is a farmers friendly, the decision the authority has taken. Then if the individual farmer takes meter water supply for modern irrigation system, like Dr. Sarkar was mentioning it, irrigation system, then the rates applicable shall be 75% of the flow rates of individual farmer. I think there was somebody was asking that how this is worked out. So first we need to decide what is the flow rates for the individual farmer without the with gravity method. And if that farmer is using micro irrigation, that either drip or sprinkler, then he has to pay only 75% of that. If registered WA takes the meter water supply for micro irrigation, then the rates applicable shall be again 75%. So there are many, there are not many, but there are few WAs in Maharashtra which really are using micro irrigation on a large scale. So those WAs will be definitely benefited. This is just an incentive actually for the farmers. If water charges for a season is paid in advance, that is before commencement of that season, then rebate of 10% shall be given to the applicable route. So there are a number of concessions, incentives have been proposed so that there should be better recovery of the farmer, and at the same time, farmer should use more water saving devices. Then, then as domestic and industrial users is concerned, there is a penalty, and this one more than 100% use, but less than if some domestic entity or industrial water user uses more than 100% and but less than 125%, then the applicable rate is 1.5 times, 1.5 times. If you just 125% more than what has been done there in the agreement, actually there is an agreement, then the rate will be 3 times. This is to penalty because they take it to granted. Many cities, they are taking a lot of water without any agreement. So this is just to curb these practices. Authority thought that to apply this type of penalties. Water used without agreement will be charged 2 times. Then the urban local bodies found supplying drinking water to industrial uses without prior approval will be charged 3 times. Okay, where meter is installed, many times water is installed but not functioning or removed or tempered and not repaired within stipulated period, generally 60 days is the reported stipulated period, will be charged 2 times. So this is again to encourage to install water meter. Unfortunately, there is a lot of resistance to install water meter even by the city like Pune. People resist for water meter, but this is really not desirable. And few more slides. Then again, authority is doing a lot of interesting job actually work in this wastewater reuse, and there's some certification program was initiated, but still it could not take that speed. Now, for example, there is a government has decided that to use treated wastewater for one is thermal power plants or for construction of the building. This is a mandatory actually. This is an example from Nagpur that this is fresh water supply, then wastewater generated, wastewater treated, and there is a Mahajanko that is generates the electricity, the company, which takes 190 mld water. So this type of wastewater reuse is really required, and the authority is really working on that, how to increase the wastewater reuse in the especially in the non-irrigation purposes, and of course irrigation purposes, but it will take some more time. Then I think what we are talking, authority and Maharashtra has been said that volumetric use is there, but there are a number of difficulties and obstacles. This is the tool which is traditionally we used this flume, which is called as cut-through flume, being used in a large number in Maharashtra for Water Users Association. It measures, of course, it's not that easy. There is a scale upstream and downstream, But its installation is very important. If it's installed in submerged condition, then you have to take both the readings of upstream and downstream. But if it works under free flow condition, then of course one reading is sufficient. And sometime now the advanced requirement is that directly you can put the scale and read how much it really discharges. But now here it is because of the, if it's not properly fixed, then you don't get correct reading. And you need to really have constant, because there are a lot of fluctuation in the discharge. So in some, you don't get exact volume of water really delivered to a WA association. So we really need a better measuring devices. I don't know why we are using the same device. These are really outdated kind of a flow measuring devices being used 50 years back, and we need to go further. So I wish that this type of devices, this is in South Africa, this is same flume, but at least there is a recorder. It continuously records, and this data is available. The totalizer is there, so you know how much water has, how many cubic meter have been passed. So we need, because increasingly it is not possible for a person to come over here and take readings, and especially when India is is highly technically in IT sector and many other fields. So we really are so backward in our flume measurement. This is from Rubicon in Australia, and with solar cells. These are the flume gates, and it measures the every second. Actually, it measures the flow. Also, it communicates to the SCADA arrangement how much water has really passed to this particular outlet or gate. It can fix the distributory. So this type of really we need to manufacture in India, so that it cost will come down, and this really needed. And finally, I just wanted to show you that although we talk very nicely, about the tariff preparation, whole elaboration, stakeholder consultation, and so many things we are talking, and authority is really proud, and we feel very happy with this, our whole efforts. Now, if you see this, what is happening practically, irrigation water charges and non-irrigation water charges. I just plotted the graph from 2000, 2001. So it shows, sorry. So it shows that the assessment and recovery, assessment itself is low. It has not exceeded actually until 2015, 16, $100. Only in 21, it has exceeded, it has 180 crores. And this recovery is very, very low. It was 101 crore. That means just simply 100 crores we are able to recovery, annual recovery. And you can see these huge arrears. 923 crores arrears are there from last so many years, actually, of course. So we really need to think that whole exercise we are doing, and just for this 100 crores. At the same time, this story is not different for the non-irrigation uses also. If you can see, there are huge areas. So areas to the tune of 2,059 crores. These are the areas. Even our industrial houses, your urban water, bodies, they are reluctant to pay the water charges. How can I expect this will run daily? So I think we need to really very seriously think over one thing, that assessment should be made perfect, whether really all the irrigated area is being assessed, if all the irrigated area is correctly assessed, all hectareage. And then regarding recovery, what happened to recovery, why there is so poor recovery. So all these are the very important issues when we talk about the water tariff, etc. So at the end, we see that many times government says, or many senior officers from the water department says, what is the fun of all this water tariff if the everything is under 100 crores? Because in Maharashtra, sugarcane is grown in command area around 6 lakh hectares, or 6 lakh hectares, yes, 6 to 7 lakh hectares. Even if you record the charges from the sugarcane, you are able to make up this. So all these are very important issues. We need to all these, academicians, economists, field persons, they should think over that, how to increase this. So this is also our non-irrigation water charges. I think this, I will conclude this. Water pricing is a complex subject as it involves economic, social, technical, political aspects. Many times really political interest has a very much important plays a role. Then MWRRA has done pioneering work in bulk water rate determination. The authority has done excellent work. Unfortunately, the authority doesn't have implementation power. It has to be implemented through EWRD and other related line departments like industrial departments or urban development department, etc. Stakeholder consultation is very important, because that will provide the beneficiaries' views actually. Volumetric waters, and we should move away from the area based, because area based will never be perfect. There is always possibility of malpractices in area basis water pricing. So we should really try for volumetric price, at least at the water users association level. I'm not talking about the individual water farmers level, but at least it is possible. Now for the ground lift irrigation schemes, we have very good demonstration at Nashik, and some 100 farmers have installed ultrasonic water meters. And with that ultrasonic water meters, you can get reading on your mobile that how much water really you have pumped within a 10 hours or whatever hours the pump has run. So these ultrasonic water meters are being cheaper and cheaper. So we should insist, really, government should insist installing water meters, ultrasonic water meters especially, on all lift irrigation schemes, so that you get really very accurate data about this water consumed. Then implementation of several concessions and penalties. Always, although it looks very nice, very good, like giving for the micro irrigation or this, although it earlier in the first tariff order, at least there is a plethora of concessions were given to project affected, and many given, but it is very difficult to implement in practice. So it should be, the tariff should be as minimum as possible. There should be minimum variations, and there should be least concessions. Then only otherwise there will be possibility of any malpractices there. So there should not be of too many concerns, because this all over the world, water pricing, especially for irrigation, doesn't lead to increasing the water use efficiency. Nowhere in the world it has been documented. It is only for keeping a discipline and knowing how much water has been used. That is the purpose, and also, of course, most important purpose, to recover some cost, that is operation and maintenance cost. So irrigation pricing has already said you have to increase the prices at least 10 times if you want to make the farmer or make the person to conserve the water. Then the present price has to be increased at least 10 times. Then only, like electricity, because we are careful for using electricity, which is not the case. So finally, I request through MWRRA, the Director Chaskar Saab, CWC may form a working group to prepare a guidelines to adopt volumetric measurement for pricing in the state. Something in the water pricing sector, I think we should be seriously, one working group may be formed under the aegis of the INSEED, and let us work out on this, how volumetric, the instrumentation technology, the tariff system, this we can form some group actually. And the major challenge in this whole is, we are talking why we said that telecom regulatory authority has been successful. Then even the electricity regulatory commissions, they are in 27 states. It is functioning very well. They are very rich, really. A regulatory commission, just in the same office on the top floor, it was there. They are very rich people. Even this, RARA, they are doing very well. But why these water regulators are very poor? And they are really not very powerful, because I think there are no private players basically. The main client is government. Main client is water resource department. Most of the dispute which MWRRA receives is the main, the is this one was the Water Resource Department. Okay, so since this is a domain of water government, it is not that easy to regulate this sector, but we need to really go, and as Dr. Sarkar has said, we need to do some restructuring of this Water Resource Department itself. We have to start with restructuring of this, even from the CWC or all institutions. We need to restructure, and so that we can really bring in the governance. Water governance, what is missing is water governance. Always we say that we have a lot many acts, everything, nice acts, everything. We are not able to implement. This is because of lack of governance, and that need to be introduced. I think I should stop here. Thank you very much for this opportunity again. And if there are some questions, already we are late, but if there are any questions, I'll be happy to answer. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kulkarni Saab. It was really very insightful and very in-depth lecture on this subject. Actually, all the participants were listening since yesterday that MWRRA is one of the first and working regulatory authority, and everybody was very eager to know about as to how MWRRA goes about it in formulating the rates, in implementing it, so on and so forth. And your lecture, I'm sure, has fulfilled all their expectations. But I have one small query. In formulating the rates, the authority is taking into account domestic, industrial, and irrigation sector only. Irrigation and industry sector only. But there are other sectors also which are benefited from the water. For example, hydropower, tourism, fisheries. Is it not there any provision for charging to these people some part of your O&M cost? That is one question. Yeah, please go ahead.
Yes, you are right. We now at least as regard recreation and sports. Okay, this came actually once there was a cricket stadium, and somebody went to the court. Actually, how can stadium use the water, actually fresh water? So that is a court. It comes on. So authority has included under the commercial charges, that recreation and that comes under commercial one.
Commercial means industrial.
Yeah, industry, of course, industry, under industry. As they get hydropower, it is a non-consumptive use actually. Aquaculture or this hydropower, it is a non-consumptive use. The same water can be reused again, but authority has really not gone to that depth actually, because there are no such case which came asking for the charges. So, but there could be some case actually in future.
Yeah, because they are getting benefited from the water, even though there is no consumptive use. Some load of O&M cost can be, shared by them also.
That can be shared. That's right. That's right. Maybe this suggestion should go to the next tariff.
And there was one more query. When you are showing a slide on bulk water tariff for industries, there are the charges for assured water supply and regulated water supply. So, my expectation was that the assured water supply charges would be more than the regulated water supply, but it was the other way around. Why it is so?
Yeah. Because see, for industry, you have to supply water anyway, and there are many cases actually. There are bandharas below the downstream of the dam and located maybe 10 kilometer, 15 kilometer away.
Okay.
And you need to release water, and you have to bear the transmission losses. This is special losses, especially you have to specially release water in that. So there is a special extra activity. Because the management staff, etc., has to release the water, some operation has to be done there. So the purposefully this the rate is kept more.
Okay. That means to account for the losses. To account for the losses.
For losses, yes.
And I think your suggestion for having a working group by CWC is really a welcome suggestion. In fact, CWC has brought in the past 2 publications on water pricing. One publication was as recent as 2022, and CWC is working on it, and we will also convey it to our headquarters that we need to have a working group which will study the whole issues and challenges in water sector, and they will come out with certain recommendations, certain guidelines for all the states to follow. So that recommendation is really welcome. Thank you.
Not charging. What are the really damage we are making to the whole system? Because that we need to study. Because nobody would like to charge, especially politicians don't want to charge. Okay, so we need to really make studies that if you don't charge, what will happen? Like vicious circle we talk about that. There is no recovery, so we are not able to make any improvement, modernization of the project. So this has to be brought out to the attention of the policymakers.
Right.
That if you don't charge, these are the damages. Okay, so I think the irrigation sector, our technology, we are much behind the whole world actually, even compared to countries like Vietnam and Bangladesh, or even so we are very backward that way in that case. Yeah, please.
Right. Your suggestion is well taken. I must thank you for showing the other side of the coin also, because if everybody is very looks towards the MWRRA as a very good example. Certainly, it is a very good example. But then there is a flip side also, as you brought it out, that in spite of doing all these exercises, we still have short recovery, and that is one area where we need to work. It also was well told that we can have lot many detailing in terms of concession and penalties, but when it actually comes to implementing it, it's rather counterproductive. So not having too much of detailing is also a takeaway of this session. So thank you so much. And we now request other participants to raise queries, questions, if any.
There is a query in the question and answer box, sir. Can you please explain the factor timeliness in cost allocation matrix?
कुलकर्णी साहब, आपका माइक्रोफोन ऑफ है, प्लीज उसको ऑन करिएगा.
Yes. Timeliness, see, for industry and for domestic purposes, timeliness is very important. If industry, if you don't supply water for 1 day or 2 day, industry will stop functioning. Okay, but which is not the case for the agriculture. Even if there is delay of 10 days or 15 days, the crop sustains, at least in present circumstances. So that is the reason that timeliness weightage is given more to the domestic and this one industry sector. It matters for them. That is the purpose. Yeah.
Myself, Dilip Kumar, sir. My question is about how you define affordability of the farmer, because yesterday we had discussed this.
Yeah. Right. See, this is again, these are all, as I said, these are the very subjective terms. And when we discuss with the farmers, because what the farmers have the precedence, because what farmers have been paying water charges from last 30-40 years. Okay, in each state, for example, in Maharashtra, 1960, farmers are irrigating. So many farmers have the experience of paying charges, and they do understand that the charges need to be as per the inflation. It needs to be increased. During our stakeholder consultation, we put several questions to them, which then how they respond. And many people, NGOs also, they say that these farmers can afford this much. That is the reason we have come that up to 19% actually. Many times people don't know why to 19%, why not 10%, like that, So affordability means how much paying capacity of the farmer. We are talking about a normal farmer, a smallholder farmer, which are 80% in number. 1 acre, 2 acre holder farmers are there. They are really now farmers are saying nowadays that please charge as per the cost of our crop. What is the price we are getting in the market?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is what the farmer are asking. We don't care for your charges, your fixed charges. Your charges are fixed charges. But do you bother about what rates we are getting in the market?
Right.
Everything has increased. Labor cost has increased, the input cost has increased, everything. But I usually say that by using water, you double the yields. Water has more contribution than any other input. It just doubles the yield of the crop. When you are ready to pay for the seed, fertilizer, pesticides, why not for water? Okay, so this is both side arguments are there. Yeah. But only thing is that farmers, in Maharashtra, farmers are paying 30,000 rupees per acre for the sugarcane. In Sangli Satara area, farmers are paying 30,000 rupees per acre for this one, because there is no other alternative for them. So farmers will pay if your service delivery is improved. If you give at the right time, whenever you are told adequate quantity and at the reliable, farmers are ready to pay. I think this is what my observation is.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Kulkarni Sahab, there are two questions in the chat box. If you can answer them also.
Chat box, okay.
Yeah, Mr. Chaitanya will read it out for you.
Please, sir.
Yeah.
Yes.
The first question is regarding if there is any tariff difference which is set for individual farmers and water user associations collectively.
Yeah. I have shown that too. That is already there. For individual farmer, it is 14 paisa per cubic meter. Okay, and for 11 rupees for if you form a WA association. This is for volumetric basis. But area basis, of course, there is no such difference for area basis.
Okay,
Yeah.
sir. Yeah, another question is what could be the real cost of water if capital cost is also taken into account along with the O&M cost?
Yeah, usually people say I think internationally also there are a lot of discussion in ICID. But in ICID there was a group, actually I was coordinating that group. French person, professional was there, he was the chairman. He was also against keeping the capital cost only in very high industrial countries like Netherlands or even France or Italy or Spain. 1% of the capital cost, maximum 1% of the capital cost can be kept, so that you can recover maybe in 30 to 40 years or 50 years the entire cost. Usually, of course, at least in developing countries, this capital cost component is not kept in. Of course, I know the case of Iran and Malaysia, Indonesia, even in Turkey also. They don't include the capital cost. Even OM and cost, we are not able to recover actually. This is the tragedy. What to talk about the capital cost? Yeah.
And there is one participant who would like to ask Mr. Tejawat. Please, you have removed your hand.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, sir, we can't see your face, Dr. Kulkarni sir.
I don't know. I tried to do this, but
I like to thank you very much for your nice and self-explanatory presentation. It's very nice, sir.
Thank you, sir.
I'd like to thank Chief Engineer NWA for his very nice presentation yesterday.
Yeah.
And NWA
Yes, sir.
for
Thank you,
their
sir.
hard efforts, sir.
No,
It was very excellent session, sir.
I haven't seen actually such a nice session actually. First time NWA has kept, of course, all our webinars are good, but this is very, very vibrant and very useful. Yeah.
Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah.
So there is one question whether you are happy about present Maharashtra Water User Association work.
Authority, you mean?
No. Water user, I think he meant participatory irrigation management. Water user associations are functioning.
See. I always, there are two ways, when I talk internally with my colleagues, I always criticize. Even about the authority, we need this and that. Okay. And even about the PM also in Maharashtra, we need this and that. Everything is on paper. But it is a relative term. But when I compare with other states, I said, oh, we are much better, like that, So it is a relative term. But really, the situation is very grave. Although Maharashtra is supposed to be a very forward state, it is a pioneering state actually from as early as 1980, it has started actually Water Resource Association, Datta Sahkari. But unfortunately, the progress has been is not satisfactory, very frankly speaking. And there are a lot of obstacles. I don't think the speed of formation is very, very slow. So we really need, and of course, the present secretary is trying hard, really, to push this further. But it is a huge task. It is a huge task but to push, and we need some changes. We form one committee actually, and we have suggested. Okay, actually, I personally suggested to convert this WA into farm producer companies. So because only farmers will not come to, because only there are 1 or 2 or 3 irrigations farmers are taking. During last 30 years, farmers have already made their own arrangement for their water. They have brought water from 10 to 15, 20 kilometers. They have 3 bores, 4 bores, bore wells. We have brought so many things they have done. Now they are not much dependent upon the canal water, unfortunately. They depend upon canal water just to recharge their wells. So really, it is a matter canal all over India actually, canal irrigation. That's why it is shrinking, and groundwater is really taking up, which is a matter of concern. So for this again, for water users also, again I request Central Water Commission to take the really lead in this, and we are really in a bad shape at the country level, very frankly speaking. Nothing is happening actually in our country. We are just formality. We are making some formality. So let us do some good discussion on the brainstorming and come out with different models. There could be different models actually. We need to think public private partnership. Why not to think that way? Okay, so we need to think out of box thinking if you want to make this PIM successful. Many countries, they are not really talking about the PIM anymore now, because they said it is a failed model. FAO has done the study in 2016. It is available. They say that the present model of WA, which is being operated in Asia, it is a failed model. They have said very clearly. So we need to look into different approaches. Yeah.
There is one more raised hand, Dr. Prabhakar Nanda. Please unmute yourself, sir, and you can pose
Good afternoon,
your
sir.
question.
This is Dr. Nanda from IIWM. In fact, this session has been very much informative. But, sir, I would like to know whether there is any mechanism to link the water tariff to the water footprint, sir. Do MWRRA has any mechanism?
See, water footprint studies have already been done, but unfortunately, we always follow what others have done. But always we that Hoekstra, that Netherlands person or UK person, we need the water footprint study under Indian.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. That's
So, are there any further queries from participants?
Own
Whether they are
indigenous water footprints, and those definitely can be linked with the water price. See, we know that 1 kilogram of sugar takes 2000 liter of water. So what is the cost of 2000 liter of water? So we can charge accordingly.
yeah.
Okay, it is definitely it's possible to charge, because textile, for example, one pair of jean takes 7,000 liters, 7,500 liters of water. So textile one industry is very water guzzling industry, and so water audit of industry, a lot of work is really required to be done in this sector. Yeah.
Mr. Mohammed A. Please pose your question. You have raised your hand.
First of all, good evening to all. And I very much thank you for NWA for arranging such a educative webinar. And I thanks Kulkarni sir for this wonderful session. And my question is like you when we are like mentioning that water cost, you have mentioned O&M cost. Is it like including that water treatment cost after the use?
No. It is the cost to the water resources department.
Okay,
It
sir.
is the
So once
cost
the water
of,
is
yeah, right.
yes, sir. Once the water is used by industries, it is like polluted one. So that
Yeah.
cost have we like accounting anywhere?
Now you can see very interesting question you ask. That is the reason we have assigned 59% cost to industry.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, sir.
So
Mm-hmm.
because they are the polluters, main polluter is industry.
Right,
And
sir.
it
Right.
doesn't mean that they should release untreated effluents in the river.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
actually, on the other hand, we are insisting on zero liquid discharge, what you call a JLD. Okay,
Right.
and with the help of the pollution control board,
Mm.
we are really very keen to even achieve the zero liquid discharge.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay, sir. Okay.
yeah. And
Uh,
again, there was some confusion. Now, once the water is sold to the corporation,
mm,
okay,
mm-hmm.
previously it was thought that it is the property of what WRD.
Okay.
That WRD was thinking that they should use water and give back to them. It is
Mm,
not the case. Actually, it once you sell to them, it becomes their
mm.
water, and they can really treat it and they can sell it
Okay.
to thermal power or to builder, because nowadays builders
Mm-hmm.
are using this treated wastewater for construction.
Mm-hmm. Right,
Yes.
sir. Right. And also there is some scope for like reusing this water for irrigation purpose. So if
Absolutely.
suppose a
The
industry is
problem is
contributing,
that,
yes, sir.
yeah, please go ahead.
Yes, sir. So that's what I'm mentioning. So if suppose they are like bringing that pollution level within the norms that can be reused for irrigation purpose, is there is any subsidies or it is like accounted in their like best water management practices like that? If anything is there.
The wastewater, the domestic wastewater can be
Huh.
treated and
Hmm.
can be reused.
Hmm.
Okay, it is reused on a very, it has become a business in many
Hmm.
African countries. They are extracting, it has become business for a unemployed youth. They are
Hmm.
extracting fertilizers, NPK, from that wastewater. Okay, and
Hmm.
so they are producing energy out of it. So
Hmm.
it is not a waste, it is called as a wealth. Actually, wastewater is become a wealth actually nowadays. It is
Oh.
called a resource.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
uh, problem is that everybody also know that in Israel some 60% of water, agriculture water, is a
Hmm.
treated wastewater, to
Hmm.
secondary level treated. Sometimes it is
Hmm.
tertiary level treated. Okay,
Hmm.
but
Hmm.
problem in India is that carrying water from the STP to the farmer's field, there is
Hmm.
no
Hmm.
infrastructure to carry. There is no
Hmm.
infrastructure to carry the treated wastewater from the STP to the farmer's field.
Hmm. Hmm.
In,
Hmm.
in Israel, if you have seen in Israel, there are purple pipes, purple colored pipes. They go throughout the Israel, where
Okay.
treated wastewater is supplied to the farmer's field. So we need to do a lot of investment also to use the treated wastewater. And
Hmm.
irrigation is the first client actually, because
Hmm.
irrigation doesn't need a tertiary treated water. It just needed a secondary treated water.
Hmm. Hmm.
Okay.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, sir.
So there is just a scope. One billion cubic meter of water, you can
Hmm.
irrigate 1 lakh hectare of area.
Right, sir.
Yeah,
Right. Right.
yeah. So there is a great scope actually to use for irrigation.
Correct, sir. Correct.
Yeah.
Hmm. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. And just a last question. So it is not like questions like what your like giveaway means how we like be like our next action plan. So to be like more effective in accounting this water related expenditure or complete water footprints monitoring everything. So
Yeah.
What should be like our next action plan?
See, Maharashtra is really doing good job, but unfortunately there are problem. Maharashtra has definitely, we should have a good regulatory authority. There is no doubt, because many farmers now, see, what is the advantage of regulatory authority? Now farmers usually used to go to leader, MLA or MP to solve their problem. Now they are not going there. They are going now to regulatory authority, MWRRA. They are going because they are sure that that problem should be solved there. That is one advantage. Okay. Secondly, Maharashtra has also established a office of water audit. There is an officer called a water auditor. Water auditor is there. He is the rank of chief engineer. And they are really collecting all this information about the domestic water use, industrial water use, all this water, and of course irrigation water use is there. So we should have a water accounting and auditing, which is being done, which is being promoted by World Bank and FAO also. So this is a new step actually, water accounting and auditing. This is the benchmarking. People used to think, but benchmarking is an obsolete concept now. No country is using benchmarking now. The country is using now the water accounting and auditing. That's
Right.
simply water management is not enough. Water auditing is required.
Correct, sir. Correct.
Yeah, water auditing of any industry. Yeah.
Can we make it as like one of the mandatory conditions, like means in accordance with like their policies and their certificates? Can we make this also like one of the mandatory for industries to have that water audit things done?
Yeah, that can be made, of course. Of course, for industry, I think this is possible. If we can make it for industry, of course. For the ULBs may not be possible. For the industry, definitely we should make it. Yeah, because they can afford. They can afford actually.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Then we have like more precise monitoring and accountability on
Yeah,
water.
yeah. And one important thing I would like to just mention, that we really require more human resource in this area. We don't have the expertise in water regulators. We have learned actually this thing, but we really need to have a formal training in water regulation, in water governance, water footprinting, water auditing. So we should train our young engineers, young officers,
Right, sir.
in these areas. So if you establish water regulatory authority, we don't get good persons. Like there is no human resource who understand this whole subject.
Right, sir.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you so
I
much.
think sorry for taking more time.
Sir, there are few more questions. Well, one question is whether which one you will find economical in the interest of government, volumetric pricing, volumetric measurement pricing, or area-wise. He is referring to Madhya Pradesh and Chhattisgarh, where revenue is collected from farmers area-wise. Whereas Maharashtra is doing it on a volumetric basis, which one will be economical?
Sir, volumetric basis will remove all your complications. You need not measure the area. You need not keep watch which crop somebody is growing. Why to bother whether he's growing sugarcane or he's taking 2 irrigations or 3 irrigations, whether he's taking from river or nothing. Just at one point you measure, and that measurement should be with the perfect advanced technology, water measuring technology. That will resolve everything. And if you do this, I'm sure your recovery will also increase. In Maharashtra, for example, we are expecting at least 200 crores. We are not exceeding 100 crores. If you start very strictly volumetric, I'm sure it will touch to 200 crores. Only our willingness should be there. Always we say that, what do you call a political will, Yeah, and it is not a rocket science at all. Not at all. Measuring the device is a very common thing. So I advise to insist on volumetric only. So leave with area measure. Who is going to measure area? Nobody is going to measure the area. people don't have time to measure. Yeah.
Okay, sir.
Any more? Yeah.
I hope there are no further queries. Sir, there is one query from my side. I
Yes,
think
yes, sir.
in Maharashtra there is authority charges groundwater usage within the command or means within those wells which are located within some distance from the canal. Is it so, sir? Or because
Yeah. That's true.
uh,
It is actually, it's from the 1976 Act itself.
okay,
That
so
is, it is with the experience that 35 meter, 100 feet
sir, but there
from
may be,
yeah,
yes, sir.
yeah,
There may be some cases where people are illegally drawing water on the other side of contour canal by below the canal. I have seen a few cases where they lay pipes from below the canal.
yeah.
Even if it is a contour canal, the command is extending onto the other side of the canal. So even in those cases, is it they are being charged? Are they being? Are we accounting for the groundwater
Yeah,
usage,
yeah,
which is actually a canal seepage water?
yeah, that's right. And it's very important observation you have made. And government of Maharashtra, the water resource department has already doing some studies. They have some collaboration with the IMI, International Water Management Institute, and they have carried out a study in Sina project, and they have worked out that from the canal 1 kilometer distance periphery, they should what you call as influence area, canal influence area. So all those wells which are constructed within 1 kilometer, they found that they are getting benefited, because whenever there is a rotation there in the canal, those wells getting recharged. So they have recommended that please include this command also on the other side of the canal. That so the government has to take decision. Of course, it is not that easy, but government has to take decision. At least you should at least account for that, because many times we talk that where my water is going. Always we are talking water is efficiency. Our efficiency is very. Actually, we need really very realistic study about efficiency. We are doing very good actually. We have to go accounting. Water accounting is the best way, because no water is wasted. Only unequal distribution of water is there. So all water is accounted, all water is used, only that you have to authenticate that water. So if the government takes that decision, okay, from 1 kilometer, it may vary from place to place depending upon the geohydrology, then it could be an influence area, but government has to take decision on that. Yeah.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much for a very informative session, as well as the question and answer session itself was very productive. On behalf of National Water Academy, I thank you for joining us and delivering this session. And many people, many participants have commented there about the session that it has been very good. I thank everyone, all of them. Definitely, we will share the contact details of Kulkarni sir. We will share the presentation, recordings, YouTube links to the all 4 sessions recordings, as well as the contact details. Maybe by tomorrow morning, all those who have registered, they will be getting it, and you can share it with others, your colleagues. So for wider dissemination, you can please share. Sir, now I would like to request DS Chaskar sir to give his concluding remarks.
Sir, one thing I want to tell you, sir, before concluding it.
Yeah,
Uh,
please.
I thank you, Sir Chaskar, sir, from the core of my heart. Myself, Lakshman Jha, speaking from Valmi Patna. Sir, whatever this discussion I am observing here, one thing I want to have, sir, whether PIM, participatory irrigation management, is being done in Maharashtra, and if that very important PIM is being done and plays an important role there, how this very water pricing is done here in Maharashtra. If PIM is working, working, if working, then how this water tracing is there?
Should I
I
respond?
will request Kulkarni Saab to answer this question, please. Kulkarni Saab.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So definitely, the Maharashtra has a very rich history of cooperative farming and cooperative irrigation federations. There are a lot of cooperative lift irrigation schemes, very famous. So that culture is still there in Maharashtra, and I can say that of course we are struggling, but as on today, see, to cover the whole command area of Maharashtra, government has worked out it requires about 12,000 water resource associations are required in Maharashtra. Out of this today, 3,700 have been functioning. Functioning means they are taking actually water, they are making audits, they are electing their chairman. So that's what we call as functioning, because for functioning there are some criteria that have been fixed. And there are some 5,000 water users association are in various stages of formation, means they are making some what we call as kararnama. Okay, they are in that process. Then after that kararnama, it will be handed over to them. So I think slow but sure, the Maharashtra is approaching to this PIM, because people have understood here that there is no alternate to PIM. There is no alternate to PIM. And in Maharashtra, water is very, very precious, because most of the crops, most of the farmers grow horticulture crops, cash crops. Okay, and for them, each drop of water is very important. It will take time to understand them, but I think this moment is picking up in Maharashtra, and maybe within coming 10 years, I'm sure at least 50% of the Maharashtra will be covered by functioning WAs. Because the act is the best act. Maharashtra has the best act in whole country. There are 16 acts I have seen, but the Maharashtra Act is the best one. Best in the sense it had taken all the from other states. What other state have faced difficulties, they have taken into consideration all those, and still they are improving. Of course, it's not static; it is dynamic. Still, they would like to improve the act. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Now I would like to request our Chief Engineer and Head of National Water Academy, Sri D.S. Chaska, sir, to give his concluding remarks.
Thank you, Chaitanya ji. It was really heartwarming to see such a good participation for these webinars yesterday, today. This was a first attempt by NWA, a first event by National Water Academy on the subject of water pricing, and the amount of response that we received indicates the not only the importance but also the interest from various stakeholders. As we were listening to various participants during the question answer session, there were participants from water user associations, academic institutions, industries, irrigation departments, and various authorities, river boards, so on and so forth. So I'm sure that all of you must have benefited from the deliberation for these 2 days. And I must thank Dr. Sarkar, who was a former secretary, Shri Dr. Kulkarni, who delivered the lecture on MWRRA, Dr. Sunil Kumar, former chairman of CGWB, for agreeing to share their knowledge, their expertise with us. And we will be sharing all these presentations with you. We will also be putting the recorded versions of these presentations on our YouTube channel. You can anytime revisit it. In fact, we have a very comprehensive database of such lectures in our YouTube channel on various aspects of water resources and management and development. And you can just have a look and go through the lectures which are of interest to you. We also have a e-learning platform hosted on a Moodle system, and there also you can register. There are many modules which are free of cost. It doesn't require any participation approval from anybody. You can yourself join the course and go through it. So I hope you will take advantage of National Water Academy's these e-learning tools that are available and get benefited by it. So once again, I thank all the faculty members, and I also congratulate Sri Chaitanya ji for putting so much of effort in coordinating this particular webinar series so successfully. Thank you all.
Absolutely.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, everyone. We are concluding it now.